from 8 on your side, your local election headquarters. This is Battleground Florida, Sunday edition.
Good morning, I'm Evan Donovan. Welcome to Battleground Florida. We got three big topics on today's show. We're going to talk about a big expansion in school choice this week in Florida, a crucial court case about the cruise industry, and then break down the gambling deal that legislators will talk about this week. We'll preview that for next week and finish the show with a couple other stories as well. This week, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill into law expanding Florida's voucher and scholarship program. It authorizes up to $200 million of taxpayer dollars for public schools to be used to pay private schools. A bill analysis shows 60,000 more Florida families will now be eligible for these programs because the income limit is being raised to cover families who earn up to $100,000. The Gardner and McKay scholarships for kids with special needs will also be combined into the wider Family Empowerment Scholarship Program. Here to help me break it all down is my political panel, Peter Schorsch, publisher of FloridaPolitics.com, Daniel Ufelder, Florida's Grim Reaper and founder of the Remove Ron PAC, and Scott Maxwell with his first turn, author of the Taking Names column at the Orlando Sentinel, a columnist there. Scott, welcome to the show. Big fan of your work. Good to have you here for the first time. I want to start with you and school choice because you've been following this issue forever. DeSantis and Republicans say this is about giving families choice. They say it evens the playing field and lets poorer families choose better charter or private schools than their neighborhood school. That all sounds great. So what's missing?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. It does give families choice, and it's honestly pretty politically popular. What it does not give is taxpayers any kind of accountability. This $200 million you mentioned now brings Florida's school voucher program to the tune of about $1 billion, and we've referred to it as a black hole of accountability because unlike traditional public schools, there are virtually no regulations there. Teachers don't have to have degrees. We've literally found high school dropouts working as teachers. We found schools filing fraudulent fire reports. We found criminals working there. These schools don't have to report their students' standardized test scores, graduation rates, curriculum. So while there has been a push among primarily Democrats to add some levels of accountability, not to crimp choice, by the way, just to let taxpayers see what they are getting, that has been roundly rejected by Republicans.
Peter, your lovely wife, Michelle, replied to my Facebook post asking for parents' comments on private schools and said, Ella goes to one, Michelle loves it, she serves on the board. Many families in Florida make similar choices. The question from public school advocates is, should you be able to use taxpayer funds to pay for your private school?
Well, if every school was ran the way that Ella Joyce's school was ran, I don't think that there would be any objection to giving as much money to anybody to get schools like this. I mean, but it is because it has the things that Scott so rightly talks about. And I'm a big school choice proponent. I think one group that embraces school choice that's very interesting, the demographic, is Black women. And now there's been some reporting after the 2018 election that was, and I don't know if I put too much stock into it, but that was one of the cohorts that ended up supporting DeSantis at a little bit higher clip than people thought about it. And they tracked that to his support of school choice. And that's because the worst performing schools in this state, especially in my neck of the woods, are usually schools that are in Black communities because they get so few resources, they're left behind. It's still almost like segregated schools from the 1960s and 70s. I don't know why when Richard Corcoran becomes FSU president, why we don't make Scott Maxwell Commissioner of Education for 1 month just to implement some of the accountability standards that he's been talking about.
I think that is all that Tallahassee could tolerate me for, Peter. Just piggyback on what he just said. He's right. There are a lot of good voucher schools, and they should have nothing to fear from this basic accountability. We've written about them before. The only thing a school that's being told you can't hire a high school dropout as a teacher should fear is if they're hiring high school dropouts. And when we've had these conversations with Step Up for Students and these others, we can't get a good answer to why shouldn't taxpayers have accountability? Why shouldn't parents have transparency for what taxpayers are getting for their dollars? I haven't heard a good response to that.
Daniel, Peter's point gets to what I wanted to ask you. This is a complicated thing. There are many children and families in Florida with a very compelling story to tell about how charter schools have made a huge difference in the lives of their kids. But yet, at the same time, we've got public school advocates saying this is making an already bad problem with public school funding worse and exacerbating this divide between the haves and the have-nots. So who's right?
What was the intent behind this program was to give people who are living in areas where there are not good opportunities for public schools to have this option. But it hasn't, it's morphed into something that is being manipulated and used for purposes of people that don't need it. And for us to be subsidizing folks that are making in six figures to go to private schools, I think that's not right.
Scott, I'll give you the final word here.
Sure. I differ a little bit with the teachers unions on here. It is money away from public schools, but when you take that money away, you're not having to educate those students in public schools. So that money does go away. But this program has gotten miles away from what Jeb Bush started. Right. When it started, it was a small thing. It was pretty focused. It was on limited income. It's now up to $100,000. And what we found are these schools operating in strip malls, schools next to bail bondsmen and drug testing centers, schools that have been evicted in the middle of the school year. Say what the hell you want about a public school. There will never be a day when you show up with your kids and the school's not there. That's what happens with some of these voucher schools. These are basic accountability things that I don't think any taxpayer objects to. The only people who do object to it are the ones running shoddy schools and the politicians who defend it.
Coming up, cruise lines are still stuck at American ports. How the state of Florida and the DeSantis administration argue the cruise industry should be back up and running while also handcuffing it with its vaccine policy. Battleground Florida continues in a moment. Welcome back to Battleground Florida. The future of the cruise industry now rests with a Tampa federal judge. Last month, the state of Florida sued the CDC, and I watched the first big hearing in that case this week in a Tampa federal courtroom. The CDC's conditional sail order allows cruises to sail in and out of American ports if 98% of crew and 95% of passengers are fully vaccinated. But Governor DeSantis has banned Florida businesses from requiring proof of vaccinations, so cruise lines can't follow those rules. Some cruise lines, including Norwegian, have said that may cause them to skip Florida.
Our state policy is our state policy, but I can tell you this, if one of the smaller ones says they somehow don't want, that niche will get filled in Florida.
Norwegian, by the way, is not a small operator. It is the third largest cruise line in the world. Peter, I will start with you because I know how huge a fan you are of cruises, especially the Disney variety. Florida's attorneys argued the CDC doesn't have the authority to effectively shut down the cruise industry with this conditional sail order that none of them can meet the requirements for, and that even if the CDC did, it hasn't shut down other travel industries like airplanes and trains, and other countries aren't requiring vaccines for their cruise lines to sail, so the CDC shouldn't either. Are they right on any or all of those points?
If there's one losing argument that Ron DeSantis has in this post-pandemic period that we're in, it's fighting the cruise issue. I think he made a big blunder this week when he dismissed Norwegian Cruise Line as a small cruise line, even though it's the third largest in the world. You know, Ashley Moody doing her best impression of Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, on Monday through Thursday, you know, filing in court to sue the CDC. Listen, I want to be on a Disney cruise. I'm literally looking on my website at Disney Cruises because we get to start booking for the new ship in 2022 on Monday. But I'm telling you, you're not going to get me, you're not going to get my family on a cruise with its buffets, with its close quarters, etc., until there are stringent requirements about vaccinations and non-vaccinated people.
Scott, you tweeted about this. You said that DeSantis has backed himself into a corner. I'll let you quote the language you used. But you basically said, all because he has taken a position completely at odds with what true free market supporters believe by trying to ban companies from implementing their own policies to keep employees and customers safe.
Yes, I believe the highbrow and sophisticated word I used that you left out was dumb. He's backed himself into a dumb corner with this. That's because, in my estimation, Ron DeSantis isn't just arguing here with science or the CDC. He's arguing with himself. He first went out and told the feds they needed to let cruises sail, but now he's telling the cruise lines they can't sail with the safety precautions they want. That argument isn't just anti-science, it's anti-Republican.
Daniel, I want to rely upon your legal expertise here a couple times in the next few minutes. First, I'm not sure that this would be constitutionally valid, right? If I'm a business owner and I can tell people they got to wear shirt and shoes to come into my shop, can I tell them that they've got to be vaccinated?
Yeah, that's what's really confusing here. They're suing over potential financial injury to the state. And at the same breath, they're going to cause financial injury by kicking out the third largest cruise line in the world. So, I mean, that's what's so confusing. I don't know when Ron DeSantis wakes up, whether he thinks he's a Republican. I don't know, because it doesn't make any sense. It really is so confusing what his policy is. And I think the judge is a good question. You know, well, if the CDC is requiring this, and this is you've got a cruise line that operates under federal law and international law and state law, I think you leave it to that enterprise. If people want to spend several $1,000s and go on a cruise and say, we're going to go on a cruise because there's vaccination requirement, why is the governor interfering with that private decision? Why? I would love for somebody to ask that question and get a real answer, because
you don't get on Newsmax and OAN if you don't gaslight the federal government.
There you go. Okay, well,
I agree with that. And if I could put a bow on this, that's the bottom line. This is a manufactured problem with an compromise. The governor has said he wants cruise ships to sail. The cruise ships have said they want to sail. He said they can't do health and safety precautions. For why? As Peter said, to pander to a base that, by the way, is going to be with Ron DeSantis regardless, and happens to be anti-science in this case. So it seems like there's an easy compromise. He's painted himself into a corner and
and I think that's the point. Gaslighting is not logical, and so it bumps up against itself all the time. And that's what I think Peter pointed out. This is just gaslight. This is pandering to a base. I sue the federal government. Hey,
I actually think this is going to solve itself. Like a lot of the stuff on the pandemic, like on the masks, us being taken off of that. I would imagine the cruise industry is going to come up with a solution very quickly, just at the point when we are reaching a, not herd immunity, but a 65, 70% vaccination rate. And I wonder if this will even be an issue in 2 or 3 months.
Coming up, the odds are in favor of a gambling expansion in Florida, but there are legal challenges ahead. How lawmakers will be rolling the dice this week in a special session when Battleground Florida continues in a moment. Welcome back to Battleground Florida. Lawmakers are heading back to Tallahassee tomorrow for a special session that could create the biggest expansion of the gaming industry in decades.
All right.
3 weeks ago, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a compact with the Seminole tribe, expanding their gaming offerings in a massive 30-year deal worth billions to the state.
To have an agreement like this, which is going to provide the state with a minimum of $500 million a year, that's something I think that's really, really important.
The legislature will now return for a special session next week to codify that compact into law. Seminole casinos, like the Hard Rock in Tampa, currently offer slot machines and card games against the dealer. Under 9 new bills filed Friday morning, the tribe would be allowed to add craps, roulette, and crucially, sports betting, including fantasy sports, which isn't currently legal in Florida, but still happens.
And I agree to something that we're not necessarily regulated or doing now, but it is occurring within our state illegally at significant numbers. I think our country was saying several billions of dollars that are going out through that in an unregulated manner.
The question is whether the state can regulate it without voter approval. Amendment 3 passed into the state constitution in 2018, giving voters the exclusive right to decide whether to authorize casino gambling in Florida. This compact and its supporting legislation may violate that amendment.
Well, I think it does. And I think that we'll probably be in court for this after we pass this bill, if it passes.
The special session starts tomorrow afternoon. Lawmakers expected to wrap up by the end of the week. Coming up, 6 ballots were never counted in a recent election in Polk County. How a voter uncovered a rare mishap by the post office. When Battleground Florida continues in a moment. Welcome back to Battleground Florida. In Polk County, a handful of legitimate votes were left uncounted because the ballots were stuck in an unchecked mailbox. And as 8 on Your Side Stacey DeSilva explains, those ballots were cast in a really tight race.
Just 147 votes made the difference in this month's City Commission special election runoff in Lakeland. So imagine the reaction when 6 ballots were found inside this box after Election Day. Linda Stata made sure to get her mail-in ballot early for Lakeland's special election runoff.
I immediately filled it out, put it in our drop box here at our community on April 20.
But then she tried tracking her ballot 9 days later.
I discovered they had not received it.
So she went to the treasurer of the Grove HOA, Cindy Wolf.
If every vote that was put in that box didn't get counted, then those people's rights were denied by the post office.
Wolf's husband told her he had to stuff a letter in the box. It had not been emptied in weeks.
We want our mail to be picked up every day that it's supposed to be picked up. That's pretty basic.
After not getting anywhere with the Postal Service for weeks, a postal worker finally had to pry open the box Tuesday. Wolf says the key didn't work. 6 ballots were inside.
It is an isolated incident. It's a very unusual situation.
Polk County Supervisor of Elections Lori Edwards tells 8 on Your Side this is a lesson in tracking your ballot. If your mail-in ballot hasn't been counted, you can vote in person.
Our post office is still very dependable, and I don't worry about it. I mail a ballot in.
In a statement.
Oh, sorry, missed the end of that package right there. But long story short, folks, track your ballot. Make sure that your vote has counted. And remember, mail mistakes are pretty rare. Well, the state Senate in Arizona is recounting more than 2 million ballots from the 2020 presidential election in Arizona's most populous county. And it turns out this recount has a connection to Tampa Bay. Republicans have hired Cyber Ninjas, a Sarasota-based cybersecurity firm, to investigate those baseless claims about election fraud and problems with Dominion voting system machines. Dominion released a statement saying it has cooperated with many auditors in multiple states that are certified by the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, including 2 earlier audits of this Maricopa County's results. But it says it will not work with Cyber Ninjas, calling the company unaccredited, biased, and plainly unreliable. New details have emerged about the investigation into Panhandle Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz. According to a report by the Daily Beast, Gaetz's wingman, former Seminole County tax collector Joel Greenberg, will tell prosecutors tomorrow that Gaetz paid for sex with more than a dozen women. The report also says Gaetz did cocaine with an escort at a party after a fundraiser for former President Trump and got that escort a no-show government job that paid her thousands of dollars of taxpayer money to do nothing. Gaetz has denied ever paying for sex and has not commented on these new allegations. Meet the Press is next. Moderator Chuck Todd will have an exclusive interview with new director of the CDC, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. He'll also have Texas Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw and Illinois Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning on Battleground Florida. We're here every week at 9:30. Our next newscast will be tonight at 6. I hope you get a chance to go out to the Outdoors Boat Show and Expo today. Say hi to Amanda Holly and all of our other friends out there, and I hope you have a wonderful Sunday.